2018 graduate of Kellogg's full-time MBA program will now offer her thoughts to the class. Maya was president of the Full-Time Student Association.
So I thought a lot about what the most salient thing to say to such an inspirational group of people on perhaps the last day of our formal education, and I've landed on these words. Stay an imposter for as long as you humanly can. Okay, guys? We already have the degrees. I mean this, though, and here's why. Imposters are humble. They don't inflate the value they add. They actually overwork to deliver it. And if we don't do this, we stand to lose the most from the informal education all around us, which most times prove more important. Some of you might remember the first time we convened as a class of 2018. Dean Merritt gave us some homework, and it was to list what you wanted to accomplish while at Kellogg so that he could check in with us a little bit later. Yes, I was one of the nerds who did the homework, but it was easy because the first two goals came from my admissions essay. The third goal, though, I picked up after meeting all of you that day. It was to debunk the imposter syndrome. For those not aware, the imposter syndrome is this thing we have here where after meeting all of the amazing people all around us, we start to doubt ourselves, and more specifically, we start to doubt the Kellogg admissions team. Like, surely they made a mistake when they let me in, but we're not gonna tell anybody. We're just gonna keep rolling with it, and we won't get caught. And I was so impressed after meeting all of you on day one that I knew that there would be much more self-doubt along the way. Over spring break, Dean Merrick replied to my homework, and he said, well, Maya, how would you assess your progress on number 3? Pretty sure he asked that because by then I'd become Kellogg's first African-American female student body president. But coincidentally, I felt even more pressure to perform as such. After many discussions that spring break with classmates, I settled on the idea that maybe the imposter syndrome doesn't need to be debunked at all. It is a natural side effect of being the high-impact, low-ego leaders that got us all admitted here. It's both a function of being impressive and competent, and when you mix in the humility that Kellogg is known for, you get people who are great at acknowledging the strengths of others while neglecting their own. I decided the answer is not to stop questioning our sense of belonging in new spaces, but to continuously discover it. Every space differs, so we should never be too comfortable that we feel entitled to be where we are. Truly impressive leaders figure out what they're good at, what privilege they hold, whether that's earned or inherited, and they ask, how do I honorably contribute that to the most needed causes? And through action, they encourage others to do the same. Truly competent leaders stay grounded enough to know where they need to build more. Learning here has made me realize how much I don't know, and work will be no different. As the new MBAs on the block, in a position expected to always have the answers, we will have two options: to close minds or to open them. If we're closed-minded, we run the risk of creating self-aggrandizing cultures. However, if we're open-minded, we gain the rewards that come with the beginner's mindset. Beginners gain the most because they make no assumptions. They have the good fortune of asking as many questions as possible while it's assumed that they know nothing. However, the real challenge and real reward comes when they are no longer new. They benefit tenfold from the beginner's mindset culture they've created because they've sustained the hunger and collectively empowered curiosity around them to negate echo chambers of stale information and perspectives. They ask questions. The good beginners ask the fundamental yet difficult questions that most people evade, and the best ones, they've mastered the art of doing so without offense. Questions like, what's it like to be you? Or can you show me how you got to that solution that way because my method differs? No one will be an expert at this out of the gate. We all know that it takes 10,000 hours to build expertise. But imagine the collective cultures we could create if we start by doing this the kindest way you know how. My guess is when we do that, when we ask the kind, curious questions instead of giving nice, agreeable answers, we will have struck the true balance of the imposter syndrome, how you make people feel. Letting your light shine brightly without dimming the lights of others because you've given them a voice too. As we graduate and go on to shake up the world, my hope is that we all stay imposters for as long as we can, remaining humble and curious like beginners do. That's how we'll create even more lasting value. Thank you.